What's up, guys? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. I hope everybody's doing well, and let's dive into the price charts today. So we're going to go through Bitcoin, XRP, and a few other alts. And friendly reminder for any YouTube channel members, you can download my exact TradingView template with a video going through this step by step and take a look at the live performance of my 3 commas bots. So I'm still running these bots with similar settings today. This is a 10K account. It did over 30% about 30 days. And then we had a bigger account as soon as I find it. Right over here, this did 20% with this account back in March. And there's no crazy secret, these bots are well known, we've talked about these since 2022, but I'm going to be having a portion of my portfolio running in these bots for this cycle. So channel members, feel free to check this out. I posted this in the community tab, and in this video's description there are 2 other videos, a total of about 1 hour of content. And no, these bots don't make 20% every single month. They're tied to the market. I wish they did. There are months where it's only 3%. There were even a couple months over the past 7 months when Bitcoin is ranging where it was 0. And not financial advice, because past performance is never indicative of future gains. But when I compare the volatility, the exciting months, the boring months, the annual returns of my portfolio running these bots blew the S&P out of the water. And one last thing before we dive into the price chart. So I did post this video today, how to pull staking rewards for API 3. Basically, I built this app script last night for Google Sheets and integrated it with the Sheets, so then it goes to the API 3 DAO tracker you put in your wallet, and it'll automatically pull all this information into a spreadsheet, and then you can kind of organize it from there, so at least you have some way to track for taxes. And as soon as API 3 builds a tool or launches a tool for this video is redundant, but we'll keep tabs. Alright, let's kick things off looking at Bitcoin, then we'll dive into XRP. So, if you are not bullish on the crypto asset class, don't listen to me. I believe we get another cycle. We have the monthly RSI cutting back, hitting that resistance level right there. So recently, the Bitcoin price chart has pulled back from 107K and down to 95K today. And looking at Bitcoin on the daily on the left, and we have Bitcoin dominance on the right, also on the daily, we can see that Bitcoin dominance has been climbing as the Bitcoin price chart has been pulling back, and usually when this happens, like we've seen for the past year, alts dump. Now we have Bitcoin on the monthly time frame on the left hand side over 10 plus years, and we have Bitcoin dominance on the right hand side. So these are both on the monthly. During the last 2 alt seasons, right here were the last 2 alt seasons, Bitcoin dominance crashed. Look at my cursor over here. So as Bitcoin dominance is crashing, Bitcoin is making higher highs. So Bitcoin is going up as the crash happens. And during last alt season, when Bitcoin dominance was crashing, what was Bitcoin doing? It was creating higher highs, as you can see right there. So that is what we want to see for another cycle. We want to see Bitcoin dominance here crash to the lows as Bitcoin is going up. So the point being is, even if you don't care about my stupid opinion, when we see Bitcoin dominance crash to the lows as Bitcoin is going up, that will be the next alt season. We can't time it. So we are over 60% here, and I've said before, I don't believe that Bitcoin dominance climbs much higher, and this is dragged out longer because we are right around the time of Bitcoin's first major move, and during the last 2 cycles, alt season happened around this time. So this little crash we had is similar to previous cycles, a little pre-crash, a taste, a pre-bull run. This was not alt season. We haven't missed it, it just hasn't happened. And not financial advice, because I don't know how long we're going to be here before the crash. Do we climb higher before the crash? I'm not sure. I believe when Bitcoin dominance crashes to the lows and fills these gaps, as Bitcoin is creating higher highs just like the last 2 cycles, that we should have alt season and a variety of assets pop. Alright, I'm losing my voice, so I'm not going to yap too much longer about Bitcoin, and we're going to look at XRP basically on the monthly time frame, looking at bull runs after election years, after these black vertical lines, and we are in another setup. It's very important to see the monthly RSI still stay above over 70 in my opinion. We can see that we've rejected this level, and during previous cycles there was resistance here and here in different waves. So I just believe that this first major move over the previous cycle top is similar to previous cycles here and here. Do we range sideways and chop a bit? I'm not sure. And for me to be bullish on another cycle, we want to see Bitcoin, the monthly candle bodies, hold over the 8-month EMA. We can do flash wicks like we did in the past, but hold this level today. So that level today is around 74,800. I was also comparing the 21-week EMA to the 2017 cycle. We can see how many back tests we had on this level. These were like 30-40% pullbacks. Will we see something similar? It's possible. I just believe that we need to hold this level, the 21-week EMA, on the way up. Even here, Bitcoin was doing major moves and all-time highs, and the weekly RSI was below 70 and chopping. The most important part is for the monthly RSI to stay up. Alright, let's dive into the XRP price chart. So I received an email the other day from a gentleman named Kurt sending me Crypto Crew University's video going over XRP and asking my opinion. So we'll dive into this. I didn't want to click any links just in case it was spam, but let's go over it. Alright, so we have Steve here from Crypto Crew University showing XRP on the 2-week chart and a golden cross of the 9 and the 21 simple moving average. So you guys know I love my monthly RSI more than anything, but this is absolutely possible comparing 2017 and 2021, looking at these two peaks that we had for RSI. So we had similar moves in 2017, we saw a similar thing right here in 2021, and saying, is this possible? Could this happen again? Absolutely, I just don't know. So we see all types of patterns play out in the crypto asset class. I think it's always worth considering, and the biggest point is if and when we get that monthly RSI over 80. That was when we got the God candles for XRP. So I know everybody's looking for that secret with the market, the cross of the EMAs, the cross of this, when it's going to be timed. Nobody knows. It's a market. It's ever changing. It's always evolving. So this is just XRP on the monthly. Could we see waves like we did during past cycles? Absolutely. I'm just not taking that chance. And just looking at the exact dates of XRP during the last two alt seasons on the monthly time frame, during the crash, XRP has historically gone up a lot more. Even if it went up before, during the previous cycle, before alt season, it had the crash, it was timed with the lawsuit, all types of things. So right or wrong, don't listen to me. I believe, and I'm just waiting for XRP to draw major moves and all-time highs. That doesn't mean it's the right thing for you. I'll be right or I'll be wrong. So does it happen in 1 month? Does it take 8 months? I have no idea. I'm doing absolutely nothing. I'm just letting the charts develop. I'm a holder and I'm just waiting. Because I'm betting on a much larger cycle in the future. I'm betting on much higher prices for a variety of assets long term, and that's what's right for me. XRP was 50 cents at the beginning of last month, so provided we stay over $2 or even $1.40, it looks fine. Alright, let's check out Ethereum. So on the weekly time frame, we can see that we've yet to surpass our previous cycle top and do major moves in all-time highs like the previous cycles. Looking at this 50-week moving average, this yellow moving average, I definitely want to stay above this level to consider the trend bullish. So we've come down, but we haven't hit that level just yet. We absolutely want to see weekly candle bodies stay above this level. We've seen flash wicks before, but we want to see us hold above this level. Notice right here we had some weekly closes tapping this as resistance, so we need to hold this level for support. Now, how much longer will Ethereum range here? Is it possible to lose this and actually come down lower? Yes, I would be buying ETH at that point. Overall, Bitcoin did its first major move over 100K. We were pulling back a bit, but I believe a much bigger cycle is coming in the future. And looking at past cycles, here is Ethereum's previous cycle top. So we know Bitcoin drew its first major move during this week of December 14th, and Ethereum followed a few months behind in all-time highs, as we can see February, and a much bigger move in March. So I don't think my thoughts are anything crazy. I just believe that Ethereum is usually a couple months behind Bitcoin, so ideally I would like to see Ethereum blast in all-time highs over the coming months. And historically, when Ethereum goes up, and if it's timed with the crash of Bitcoin dominance and alt season, that's really good for a bunch of alts. So we keep hitting this darn 4K level at the 786 retracement. We can see 1, 2, and 3. How many taps is this going to take until we can break through? So nothing crazy for me. I just want to see the weekly candle bodies hold above the 50-week moving average and use this level as support to keep the trend strong. We can see resistance, and we want this to be held as support. If this is broken through, I don't see ETH going much lower, maybe around the 382 if we're lucky. I just believe that ETH goes to all-time highs. So not financial advice, guys, just giving my 2 cents. I believe that Ethereum should still follow behind Bitcoin, even if Bitcoin initially gobbles up liquidity. Alright guys, so I'll be covering Ethereum and a bunch of assets regardless whether it happens really quick like we all hope or if it takes a bit. So let's go over some altcoins now. So we have Illuvium on the monthly time frame, an example of an asset with a bunch of monthly fair value gaps and imbalances sitting at the lows. In full disclosure, I do own some Illuvium. It's in the gaming space, it's a small cap, the monthly RSI is not run. I've shared examples of assets when the monthly RSI crosses that 50 line or higher and it really runs. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with Illuvium from last cycle. I think there's going to be a bunch of gaming assets that do wake up when we see that crash of Bitcoin dominance. But when will it be? No idea, because in the meantime, we can just have assets range at the lows. They can crash lower, but I'm waiting for that crash and for different sectors to really get moving. At least during past cycles, Bitcoin goes up, it gobbles up liquidity. Bitcoin does a 50% or a 100% move, and alts do nothing or crash, and people have FOMO into Bitcoin, but the real ROI will be in alts later. Looking at HBAR on the daily, so this is one of the most positive examples of an asset getting a strong golden cross of the yellow cutting through the purple. So the 50-day cuts through the 500, taking out the previous highs, even going above it. It doesn't mean that other assets are going to do an 800% move and then pull back a bit or consolidate, but overall, I believe a bunch of assets at their lows, especially whenever we get the crash of Bitcoin dominance, come up and challenge their previous highs and then go above them. So when we're looking at HBAR, we can see that we surpassed these previous highs. We got the golden cross. We've broken out of accumulation at these lows. And what I mean by that is just being in accumulation at these lows. We broke above this level, took out this high, and even challenged previous retracements compared to its all-time high. We had some fake outs up here at the 236, came up to it and finally broke through and made it all the way up to the 618 thus far. So please ignore these ugly drawings, but pay attention to the retracements and the position of the 50-day and the 500 for a bunch of alts. So looking at API 3 for example, we've yet to take out this previous high. We had the setup for a golden cross still yet to happen and we've dumped, so we are still low. I'm looking at potential trend lines to hold so we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But overall, we just want to see a bunch of assets compared to their previous all-time highs, similar to what HBAR did to the low, reach, and take out their previous highs up here. Remember that HBAR has a much larger market cap than a bunch of other assets, and yes, HBAR is very legitimate, but we can see HBAR got up to the 618, a bunch of other assets are still low. But how long do we range down here, up, down, before taking out the previous highs and going higher like HBAR? I'm not sure. And I'm looking at a bunch of alts in a similar way to HBAR, and we can see MAV still below the 50-day moving average, hitting almost the 500-day as resistance. And we can see Rose has a similar setup to HBAR. We got the golden cross. The problem is that we are below these moving averages. We need to be above these moving averages to be bullish for this to have a similar move to HBAR, up to these highs or up to 20 cents to 40 cents. So overall, I still think there are a bunch of altcoins that have plenty of opportunity for this cycle. We haven't seen the crash of Bitcoin dominance. If your alt hasn't moved, it doesn't mean it won't move. We just haven't seen the big crash. And the interesting thing about Rose and HBAR is HBAR had weekly fair value gaps just over 20 cents and they were closed, and Rose still has those open. And just comparing Rose's market cap to HBAR, if Oasis or Rose had the market cap of HBAR today, that would be an 18x. Now, I'm not saying that's guaranteed to happen, nothing is for certain, but just in terms of potential during alt season, there are a bunch of alts. And just remember, if Bitcoin dominance continues to climb as the Bitcoin price chart pulls back further, these alts can absolutely go lower. So I know that was a lot of information. Overall, I'm just waiting for another alt season, the crash of Bitcoin dominance, and looking at the last two alt seasons, right here is when Bitcoin got its first major move. We were already crashing. Right here, it was near the top before the crash, and right here, we got our first major move last month. So hopefully we're getting close. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button and let me know your thoughts down below. You can find all links to my crypto resources, including tools for charting, trading bots, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts right in my link tree in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.